What's up everybody? In today's video, we're gonna take a closer look at this guy. It's the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wrath of Krang. Check it out. What's up everybody and welcome back to Pop Empire. Happy to see you as usual, and we're back with another Turtle Tuesday. Cowabunga! And in this episode of Turtle Tuesday, we have this guy here. Of course, this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Krang Android Body, of course coming to us from NECA, the Wrath of Krang, as it says on the box. First off, let's go ahead and take a look at the box before we pop this guy open and take a closer look at the figure. And here's the up-close look at this wonderful box. Of course, you got this wonderful artwork here on the front with Krang. Of course, this is his Android Body. Krang's this guy inside here. And of course, got the Ninja Turtles here. You got Michelangelo, Leonardo on the cover there. And then looking at the side, Ninja Turtles logo, Wrath of Krang. Got this awesome NECA logo, which kind of harkens back to some VHS tapes from the past. Also got that Nickelodeon logo there. And of course, here's the back of the box. Just some different scenes here with the figure, which is pretty cool. The artwork is fantastic. And then down here, just a little bit of a write-up about Krang. And then on this side, you basically just have the same situation. But what's cool about this box as well, the front opens up like so, and you got all your stuff there. So yeah, let's go ahead and pop this bad boy out. Yeah, so here's our Krang Android Body out of the box. Let's go ahead and get a closer look at some of these details. So as we get a closer look at the Android Body, I just want to point out the paint application first. Overall, I think it looks really great. There are a few spots that are just a little off. There are actually some spots that have like a little over here, just like a little red mark on the skin there. But overall, I think it looks really great. As usual, these things look like they come straight out of the cartoon, and that's what I really love about these figures. So just taking a look at the head there, sculpt is really great. I think they captured the likeness very well. So I just want to go ahead and check out some of the articulation right here with the head. It does move back and forth there. It's a little stiff. And then moving over to the arms, a little bit of movement there. And actually it's quite smooth. You have the bend right here in the elbow and getting down to his hand, swivel around there. One thing that I always really like about these figures is how they use two tones just to give it that cartoon look. So of course you have the lighter tone on the front, but then as you get towards the back, it's a lot darker just to give that shadowed look, which I really like. And then just checking out all these little pieces like these straps here, and then like the black paint in there, just adding more to the detail. Looks really great. Just even on the back of the neck, they have that black in there. There's a little bit of a fold in there. And then also these shoulder pads, which are actually like made out of rubber. And then these straps that I was talking about, they're actually just part of the mold, so they don't move or anything. And then also just checking out his elbows, and they have that detail, more folds going on in there of where, of course, his elbow would bend. And then as we move down to the waist, I do want to point out that he does swivel around pretty well. Just a little stiff, but not too bad. And then of course, right there inside, you can see where Krang would sit, which we will get him in there momentarily. As you can see there, you can see the controls that Krang would use to control the Android Body. And then just these cool little designs here on the front, adding to the detail. Then as we get down to the legs, they do move out pretty well. So there you can do the splits a little bit. I do notice that the knee joint is pretty stiff. So that's not something that I would want to force too much, because I wouldn't want to have any accidents or having it break. So just keep that in mind. If you end up getting one of these figures, I would recommend warming it up a little bit. And then just getting down into the feet, and the ankles move a little bit like so. But those are also a little stiff, so it might make it a little difficult in how you want to pose this figure. Yeah, but overall, I think this is a fantastic figure. Definitely one that I recommend adding to your NECA Toon Turtle collection. He fits in quite nicely with the other figures. He is quite large, so that is really cool. I also like how these are basically to scale. Maybe not perfectly to scale, but they do look great together. And here's the Krang figure. Of course, this will fit into the Android Body, which we'll show you in just a second. But first, just wanted to show you his details. And I gotta say, this guy has a ton going on in there. Look at all those different indentations. Of course, where they put some of the black paint to give it a little more depth. Of course, this guy is a big brain. Yeah, this guy looks fantastic. He also does have a little bit of articulation. And his little arms here, they actually do swivel on both sides, so that's pretty awesome. And then on the bottom, he actually has this hole, and this is what keeps him in place when he's inside the Android body. But if you really just take a close look at that face, it's really amazing. I mean, the eyes are actually a different color. His eyes are actually like a little bit of blue, kind of, it looks like, maybe gray. He also has some tiny teeth sticking out of his mouth, so I think that looks fantastic. And also, he does have kind of that two-tone feel to him. Of course, he's mostly pink, but then as you kind of get to the bottom there, it's a darker color of paint, which is really nice. And if you're looking at the back there, they've done the same kind of in the different cracks, and they added some more of that kind of dark paint just to give it even more depth, which is interesting, especially because he's going to be inside the Android body, and you're not going to see any of that. But still, expert level detail here. This thing's fantastic. Let's go ahead and get him inside the body.
And back to the Android body, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to open him up. So actually it is a little difficult, I will admit. There are actually some grooves on each side of the body, and there's one here on the front. The back is just all flush and flat, but these ones on the sides and the one in the front are the ones that click together. So I'm gonna go ahead, put my finger in here and just very, very gently push out on the inside as I push his body in. And you just have to be very careful. I've actually seen a few people break the figure this way, but you just have to be really careful. And as you can see over here on the side, you can see that groove in there. And you just kind of take it away from the other grooves that are there. And then it comes off, and we'll go ahead, take a look at this a little closer real quick. I just want to point out where those areas are. You have that groove there on the front, and then of course here on the side, and on this side as well. As I was saying in the back, there's no groove there. It just sits down in the legs. And as we bring the bottom half back in, there you can see that circle there, which is where our Krang will sit. So this is another part that's just a little tricky because you want to get his tentacles to go around those controls. So get him in here in place. And there I was able to get one tentacle around one control, push him down in there. And then the other one, if you are having issues, like as you can see here, you can actually pop that control out, and then you can move him around a little bit, so it'll be between his tentacle on the left side as well. As you can see, that little piece, it just pops out, just has like a little ball at the end. And then as you can see in there, I just kind of swiveled him around a little bit. And then you just put that control back in, and that way now he can control his Android body. So now let's go ahead and put the top on. So again, as you're putting this back on, as if you were taking this off, you just want to get those grooves in to those little pegs on the bottom half of the body. And I got that side in and the front in, and then you can just push down over here on this side. And now he's sitting in there perfectly. Put his arms back down there, and there you go. There you have your Krang in his Android body. Really cool.
And here's the tiny shredder that actually comes with this set, and this guy is awesome. He is pretty small, and here he is kind of in the palm of my hand there. For reference, I guess. But yeah, this guy's awesome. Don't 100% remember when this happens in the series. I do remember seeing it, but honestly, haven't seen that episode since I was a kid, so really don't remember a whole lot about that. So for those of you that want to enlighten us about that episode, or maybe it was multiple episodes, go ahead and leave that down in the comments. That would be fantastic. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this figure. Lots of details going on in there, even for this little guy. He's got those awesome shoulder pads on the side there that really have just become arm pads because he's such a little guy now. The whole thing just looks fantastic. His robe that he's wearing there, tons of little details going on in there, which is fantastic. There's a little bit of articulation. The arms do move back and forth. There's also like a little bit of movement in the shoulders. You can't move them too much just because of everything going on here, but there is some movement, so that's good. He also does bend at the waist. You can kind of see there. It's super stiff, so I would just be real careful with that. And of course the head has a good swivel to it. The head actually moves easier than the rest of the body. Still, this guy is absolutely fantastic, and he's gonna look awesome with your display. And here's the first accessory we're gonna go ahead and take a look at, and this is, of course, is a little axe here that can be put on the Android body. And just getting a look there at some of the details, you got those different colors, which are fantastic, really make this thing pop. And if you take a really close look there, you can see like these little white lines, as well as kind of a darker gray line going down there. It's just adding so much depth to these, makes it look like it's animated, which is fantastic. You got these little grooves on here, but let's go ahead and take a look at it on the body.
Yeah, you can just take the hand off here, and just want to show you guys really quick. There's actually just a little hole in there where the peg will go into. We'll bring that axe back in, And here he is with his axe accessory. He can go chop someone or go chop some wood for the winter. Really cool.
And then on to the next accessory. Not really sure what you would call this thing, but it's pretty fantastic. Kind of like a little pinwheel, I guess. This thing does spin, so that's pretty awesome. Because it kind of works like a saw, so to speak. Has these little spikes on there. Again, we're getting down into some of these details, just all the different colors that they use and the way that they shade these things. Absolutely fantastic. Again, just really amazing the way that they get these to look like they really do come straight out of the cartoon. Another awesome piece here. And again, let's go ahead and check it out on the body.
And here he is with the saw coming out of his arm. Just another excellent piece with however you would like to display this figure.
And then here we have like a little blaster. There's actually two of these that come in the set. So you can put one on each hand. Level of detail, expert as usual. If you look down in there, so many just different shades, which is fantastic. I mean, even if just, if you kind of look real close there, there's like a little bit of light gray in there to add a little bit of shadow. And then it's painted red down in the barrels. So yeah, this thing just really pops, but let's go ahead and take a look at one on the body.
Yeah, and here he is with it. I think out of all the little accessories, this is probably my favorite. I think it looks really fantastic there on his wrist. And I think that will really make for a great display, maybe shooting at the turtles.
And here's another accessory that comes in this set, kind of like a ball and chain or a mace. And this can go on his arm as well. However, we're not gonna pop this one on, and let me show you why. This end down here is, of course, the piece that would pop into his arm. Now, this end piece down here is extremely lightweight. There's been some issues with people breaking this off inside the figure, so we're not going to go ahead and put that in there, and I can see why they're having the issue. If you have one of these, or if you get one of these, you'll see why. The end of this thing is just, it's so lightweight compared to some of this other stuff. I can already tell just holding on to it, if you were to push that in there too hard, it's gonna be real easy to break, and it might even be difficult to pull out of there. You'd have to be extremely careful. Other than that though, this accessory is fantastic. There's an okay amount of weight to it. The chain is actually a really nice touch. I like the way that they did that. It's just plastic, but still it's really nice. And just a little bit of detail in there, nothing too crazy, but yeah, another cool little piece here.
And to just kind of give you an idea of how it would look coming out of the arm, I think it would look really amazing. But again, it's just not something that I want to risk with this figure, so we're gonna go ahead and leave it out.
And here are a couple of the other things that come in this set. Of course, you got these little blueprints. You got the Krang Android Body right over here. His little blueprint, and then you got another blueprint over here. Looks like some sort of vehicle. I for one don't actually even remember what that vehicle is. Like I said before, haven't really seen these shows since I was a kid for the most part. Seen some of them recently, but I don't remember that portion. So again, if you happen to have the information on that, go ahead and leave that down in the comments. That would be fantastic. But yeah, another just little cool thing if you're going to display your figure, you know, maybe have these posted behind it, maybe kind of make it look like a workshop, or if you have the Technodrome kind of diorama maybe, this would be cool to have inside there as well. So yeah, pretty cool.
Then there's also this accessory that comes with him. Looks like a towel that would go around the Android body. This is also something that I don't remember. I was thinking maybe part of a disguise because there's also a headpiece accessory, which I'm going to show you right now. And of course you can put that on top of the Android body's head. Go ahead and bring our figure back in, and you can just set this on top of his head like so. Yeah, pretty cool. And then here's everything else that comes in this set, more accessories. And just checking out here, you get two more sets of hands. And then you also get another one of those ball and chain accessories. And then as we move to the top, there's actually this piece that goes around the Android body's neck. And then just trying to get a little closer in there, there are these two pieces right here, which they go into the top of the Android body's head, because there's a little hole on top, which I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys really quick. And there you can just see that hole on top of his head, and you could just put those little accessories down inside.
And yeah, there you have it. We have the Krang Android Body here from NECA. This thing's really fantastic. I mean, really amazing. I know you can actually still maybe find these in your local Target, so I'll get out there and maybe check it out. We actually got very fortunate. We went to one of our local Targets, and they actually didn't put them out on the floor, so it seems as though they are actually keeping them in the back, at least here where we live. If you haven't seen them at your local Target, maybe ask somebody, see if they're sitting around in the back. Go check that out. We'll put the DPCI down in the description so you can go ahead and check that out for yourself. But yeah, ultimately, really fantastic figure. To watch a video that YouTube suggests for you, click that video to your left. To watch our last video, it's going to be that one over there to the right. We'd also love it if you would subscribe, and to do that, go ahead and click that link up above our heads. That'd be fantastic. We'll see you on the next video. Peace, everybody.
See ya.